You know that thing where you get an amazing pair of shoes at a really great price and want to tell everyone about it? Yeah, so do we. Here at Designer Shoe Warehouse, we'll give you something to brag about, like the latest styles from brands you love, or the trends everyone's obsessing over, or shoes that make you feel like, well, you. So go ahead, show off a little. Find shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. Head to your DSW store or DSW.com today. DSW, let us surprise you.
Welcome to the RuPaul's Drag Race Recap Show for Season 18, Episode 4, titled Red Carpet Mashups. My name's Joe Batanz, and I am joined, as always, by one amalgamated co-host from the podcast Bravo, Bravo, effing Bravo. Please say...
That's when the diarrhea started.
To Mr. Nathan Patrick Brown. Hello, Nathan.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Generally, when we're getting ready for this... You know, when the music's playing, all this stuff, I'm like moving my pages around, getting to the right page, doing all that. And then I read it. And then today I looked up just for a hot second and you were like dancing.
I do it every week.
You dance every week?
Every time there's music. I just, feel it in my bones. I can't help it.
I never knew that. Every week.
Never miss a week.
Oh, interesting. Nice callback there. All right. Well, there you go. Like, usually because now this is on the Patreon. If you don't have to do as deep of a Patreon plug, I will say if you're already here, executive tier is also 40% off. But I think that's is that for new people? I don't know. But take advantage of that. Is there any kind of other feature? By the way, Taylor, I will say this, and maybe I'll put this into like an album. I don't know, like a collection. Taylor the Latte Boy texted me yesterday.
Yeah?
And he said, I just binged over 2 days Madame Foreman. And he goes, this is the best thing you've ever put on Afterthought.
Yeah.
Oh, you think so too?
Oh, not the best thing, but I really enjoyed it.
So Madame Foreman was a multi-part series discussing my run on jury duty. And it's available to everybody. It's always been available to everybody. So I'll just put it out in a collection so people can just go listen to the whole thing.
It's a nice little peek behind the curtain of the judicial system.
In the United States. Yeah.
In the United States. Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah. As everyone should know, well, I'll give people, speaking of a peek behind the curtain. Did we discuss that? I don't know why I said that right now, but just between us girls. Usually we record it right before the show. And I guess technically we did. But if you mean by right before the show, you mean like 3 days ago. Nathan and I recorded Just Between Us Girls. Actually, a couple of days ago. I don't think it was 3. A couple of days ago, we recorded Just Between Us Girls. Because Nathan, you're going somewhere right now, right? We're doing this kind of earlier than we usually do it and all that.
I'm heading off to a Lord of the Rings extended marathon. So it's an all-day event. It's going to start at 10:30 a.m., finish just before midnight.
You know what's so funny is I've strangely stumbled on YouTube onto this channel that does deep dives into very, very, I wouldn't say obscure, but very singular topics about Lord of the Rings. And we'll do 20-minute video essays about this one thing.
Like what?
What's the one that I just watched? It was like 15 minutes, and it was about why didn't Gandalf realize in The Hobbit when Bilbo had the ring that it was the One Ring?
Oh, yeah.
It does those kind of questions.
Well, I think there's lots of magical rings. We just don't know about them.
So this guy was, first of all, he addresses the problem that The Hobbit was originally written as a standalone novel. And it's not until years and years later that Tolkien starts doing The Lord of the Rings and he has to tie it back. And actually he goes back and edits The Hobbit. Because I think in the original Hobbit, when Bilbo gets the ring from Gollum's just like, whatever, right? Just not that care, didn't care that much about it. And Gandalf's like, yeah, whatever, this ring, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But when he goes back and retcons it, so that's more of a battle, and Gollum's really upset. But he doesn't really change Gandalf's reaction that much. But then what's funny is in a later video, and this wasn't in the original video, this is another weird deep dive he did in what are the differences between Gandalf the Grey and Gandalf the White. Okay.
Mhm.
And he mentions that Gandalf the Grey would overlook some things, and Gandalf the White is more powerful and is more observant and so much more intent on things. But that Gandalf the Grey, being not as observant as Gandalf the White is, didn't notice the one ring, blah, 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 didn't pay attention until like 60 years later or something. I don't know.
But the White would have.
Yeah, this Lord of the Rings stuff is so cuckoo and how deep they go into it. I just watched this one. This one was like 25 minutes long. I think I only watched like 10 minutes. But did you know that there's like Saruman the White, Gandalf the Grey, there's some guy the Brown.
Radagast.
Oh, are you a big Lord of the Rings nerd?
Yeah, I love it. I read the books all the time.
Okay. And then there's these two blue wizards.
Yeah. They just go east. They don't care.
And the two blue wizards, I didn't know you were a big Lord of the Rings nerd. Okay. So he does a whole 25-minute video on these two blue wizards. And I'm like, what?
That's actually interesting. I've always wondered what they were getting up to.
So this guy has all the info, because what's funny is he says in the actual Lord of the Rings, this is where it gets really nerdy, everybody. So you know what? When you're like, I'm mad that they talk about Disneyland, this is what you're missing. We're now getting to like Lord of the Rings nerdiness. I've never read these books, by the way. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why this has appeared on my FYP on YouTube and why I'm watching it. Okay. So Lord of the Rings. In the actual Lord of the Rings books, there's only a passing mention that there's 5 wizards. Okay. Yeah. That Saruman makes in one of the books, right? Which is so funny because this guy's saying that Saruman actually, it's supposed to be secret knowledge about at least the 2 blue wizards, but that this is Saruman sort of showing off that he's giving some secret information. I don't get it, right? Then in the Lost Tales or something like that, this is when these were unpublished stories by Tolkien, I guess, or something, or I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of backstory that he's just got in like random.
Then he mentions like
things.
one sentence about the blue wizards. Okay.
Yeah.
Then the son found among the different pages and notes he had a little side note that Tolkien had written about the blue wizards and something about having to do with the second age and this and that. And I was like, God, these nerds, man, they just. And then he has a whole 25-minute video about this.
That's great. I love that we did J-Bug just between us girls the other day, so we could, get into the episode today, and then here we are talking about the Lord of the Rings.
Yep. I thought you were a big Lord of the Rings. You would think that you would prefer to talk about Lord of the Rings.
I'd prefer to get out on time so I can go see the Lord of the Rings.
Why wouldn't we get out on time? I'm being honest with you, and I'll put it up to the court of public opinion. I'm the one who's like, yeah, here's my point. And then you're like, just one more thing. Did you notice that Jane had 2 different pairs of shoes on? And I was like, okay. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, we need it for the record.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And then he's like, I need to get out in time. And I'm like, all right. This week, the girls the girls mash up 2 different celebrity red carpet looks in this season's second design challenge. In the end, Vita Von T Starr was named the winner of the challenge, while Briar Blush and Kenya Pleaser were placed in the bottom 2. After a lip-sync battle for their lives, Kenya Pleaser was told, Shantae, you stay, while Briar Blush was asked to sashay away. Nathan, name 2 things you liked about the episode and 1 thing you did not.
Well, I loved this challenge. I thought it was a really fun and creative way to do a design challenge to mash up those like celebrity runway looks. I thought that was really fun. And I also thought the who wore it better, making them pair up thing, that made it a bit more interesting as well. So I really enjoyed that. The other thing I liked was Briar's faint. I just thought it was so fucking funny. I guffawed. I thought it was good. Yeah, I just thought like this is the show that I want. Yeah. I want dumb shit happening, and that was perfect. And the one thing I did not is just that there's too much happening off camera. I'm glad this episode that they like brought it on camera and mentioned it on camera, but I just think all these chats that they're referring to shouldn't be happening without a camera on them. Like, put them on ice. This shouldn't be happening.
I saw a comment on Reddit that mentioned this, and they said, "What is this, Dragula?" And I was
does it
like,
happen a lot on Dragula?
Oh, Dragula is constantly referring to off-camera conversations and this and that. That is a big problem on Dragula.
It's a problem on Housewives too, and it can really like ruin a season.
Mm-hmm.
Like this last season of Salt Lake City, it's all been about shit that happened off camera. And it's like, well, we can't make a judgment call because we haven't seen it. So,
which is weird because Drag Race is generally pretty good about this stuff.
And that's what I thought was the case all this time.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, oh, no, this isn't good. I mean, it's good that they brought it up, but like,
Yeah.
I just don't like that.
Very interesting. All right. Well, then why don't we do
What
this?
about you? Is there anything in particular you like?
You have to get out of here, Nathan. You have to get out of here. Let's zip through this. We will give the people less content so that you can make it on time to go see a movie you've never seen before in one weekend. It's shocking to me that you've read these books. This is the first time you've ever seen these movies?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to discuss the rest of the episode. We'll be back right after this.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
This is a Monday.com ad. The same Monday.com designed for every team. The same Monday.com with built-in AI, scaling your work from day one. The same Monday.com with an easy and intuitive setup. Go to Monday.com and try it for free.
This episode is brought to you by Fandango. People say fans are too distracted these days, but the truth is, when a great movie hits the screen, you show up. You stay glued, invested, part of the story. And without fans like you, there'd be no cinema magic, no shared moments. So head to Fandango.com to get tickets, stream, or rent or buy top movies and series. Fandango loves fans.
And we're back. I have to say something. Nathan was dancing the entire time for the outro into the commercial out and commercial in. And is this how you dance at clubs, Nathan?
Mm-hmm. Why?
This is why people are tickling your feet.
Secretly tickling.
After the elimination, the girls walk back into the workroom to decompress and de-drag. The girls give props to Briar for winning the lip sync and congratulations to Juicy for winning the last challenge. Later, Mia attempts to apologize to Briar for a joke gone too far. This turns into a heated argument that drags in Athena and Juicy love Dion. Later in the workroom, things flare up again among the girls. Let's stop right here. Lots going on. Probably going to fill in some missing pieces here. So they come into the workroom. And it's the typical, like, wipe off the lipstick off the mirror. Now there's a whole new thing where the person who didn't go home has to give, like, a TED Talk at the mirror. This is a new thing. I don't know if it's this season. When did this start? But now there's a TED Talk at every mirror message now of wiping it off. And then they go back to, that they sit in that little, like, weird circle again, almost like it's Untucked Part 2. And this is where Mia is like, hey, listen, Briar, there was this moment that they didn't show in the last episode. But this part was filmed where Briar starts talking about a previous relationship. And Mia makes kind of a very tame joke, if I'm being honest with you, but it's not for me to judge.
It is shady.
It's shady, but it seems like it's all in fun and harmless shade. What happens is Mia said, oh, yeah, I was in a relationship for 2 years and it didn't end well. And she goes, who was at fault? And does she say, like, was it you or something like that? Or like...
Yes, sort of. I don't know. I felt like she was implying that like Briar cheated or something like that. And that made me think like, oh, is that the rumor? And Mia's actually heard the rumor. And so, because Briar later, she's like, oh, it wasn't my moment where I wanted to bring that up, kind of a thing. Implying that there was some truth to whatever was being insinuated. I don't know. So that's why I thought it was shady. Because I felt like Mia wasn't asking out of genuine interest. She was like saying, oh, I've already heard this.
Oh, I didn't get that. I didn't read that much into it. I just took it as harmless shade. But I will say, I think she says somewhere later in the episode, and I don't know where I saw this, that I'm talking about Briar, that Briar wanted to discuss this off camera privately with the girls, not on camera, which again, this is like
tough luck.
Well, it's something that I made a TikTok about this, a TikTok that like about 10 people saw, apparently, that about this very topic, and we'll get to it when it's appropriate. But it's one of these things where, like, look, I'm at this stage in this discussion, I'm going to be team Briar, even though I'm going to go back and forth, and I'm going to even say I'm team no one, if I'm being honest with you. But at this stage, okay, so Briar was in her feelings. She sort of just withdrew, and Mia, tried to, at the moment she sensed it, tried to, like, test the waters. Briar wasn't giving her anything. And I guess off the camera, went up to her and tried to apologize. And Briar said she wasn't ready. Now, this is where I will say, now look, who are we to judge how someone feels, But I will say, especially as shady as this Briar has been, what we've seen on camera, I'm like, no, we're not doing this. Not today.
Yep.
But what? So this is where we are at this stage. What do you think about everything that happened in the argument at this stage? Because this is what it's about right now. Because I feel like it goes back and forth. That's what I'm just saying. Is that we're going to go in the rest of the argument. We're going to dig in here, but like at this stage,
Mia was being shady.
Okay. I'll give you that point. I don't know if I go so far as shady. I think Mia made a joke. She thought it wasn't fun. It didn't land the way she thought it was going to land. She tried to apologize. Briar wasn't ready to hear the apology, which is Briar's prerogative, right?
Sure.
For a certain amount of time, right? Because we have to remember, because we're separated by a week, and also they compressed everything. But this has just happened over a matter of a few hours. So what we're seeing today, it's only a few hours after this happened. So this isn't like, oh, they ruminated, for days and Briar's still here. So I think Briar, a few hours later, and especially everything that's gone on since, is allowed to be in her feelings at this stage.
Okay.
So we've said everything that we have to say there. So now they're talking about it, and Mia says her piece and now is waiting for Briar to respond. Briar starts to respond, and then Mia cuts her off, and then Briar says, can I finish? And then this is when now, I know people like this, actually. I think we know exactly who we're talking about right here, too. But we know people... I know people like this, and people who know me can read between the lines, who, when they've done you wrong and they feel guilty about it, their antenna are up waiting for you to make one little slip up so they can turn the table on you to make them feel better about how they treated you. And that's how I interpreted that moment right there. Is
okay.
Briar said, can I finish? And Mia was like, excuse me. But I will say, based on what we've seen, Mia said, I'm done. Go ahead and respond. Briar starts to respond, and Mia's like, and Briar says, can I finish? And she's like, oh, bitch, you're going to be cute today, little girl. We're not going to do that today. And I'm like, she just asked if you could. You did cut her off. So at this stage, I'm still team Briar. But at this stage, Mia also
thinks that Briar murdered Mandy Mango and just destroyed Mandy. Like, for some reason, it's Briar's fault that she won the lip sync and not RuPaul's for saying who won.
This is a new thing. You know, I talked about this last week with Jane Doan with the I'm afraid of having a target on my back, even though we're not in All Stars or Survivor or any of those shows. I don't know what you're talking about here, right? Or Big Brother. Those shows, yes. But this show, no, it's RuPaul. It's like Project Runway. It's like RuPaul makes a decision. And it's the same thing here is, what did you just say?
Well, Mia's acting like Mandy sent... I mean, Briar sent Mango home, which she did, but not like personally. Like, what was she meant to do?
I'm
not
gonna get because even later she's like, I'm gonna get Kenya, get vengeance for Mandy.
I know.
What the fuck did Briar do?
Yeah, it's a bit much.
Yes, it's crazy.
But I can see why it's a bit much once they reveal everything Briar's been doing off camera. I can get being shitty with someone because they've done a switch up and they're acting differently. And it's like, don't act like you're the victim and the saint on camera when you're being a cunt backstage. So I can see why that happens.
But we're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
No. So now here we are. This is where we are in the little fight. Briar makes her point. And then I will say, we're going to switch, but I will say Mia is doing, amazing gaslighting and passive aggressive tactics where now she's found her opening to swoop in and turn it on Briar. Okay. Oh, don't you tell me not to interrupt you. Let you finish. Right. Which, by the way, Briar never interrupted her, which is so funny because I'm not team Briar at all, but I'm just saying, calling what's happening here. And then she does another classic manipulative tactic. Oh, well, it's because of what you did to Athena. Look, all of a sudden, everyone's concerned about Athena, right? And she's like, look what you did with Athena. And Athena asked you to stop touching her. And you did this stuff off camera. Now, the on cameras, maybe there was more. We have seen her touching Athena when she said no on camera. Maybe there's more off camera. But Athena says off camera, Briar says really, really shady stuff. And now Athena's brought into the mix because of Mia's manipulation tactic. Okay.
Well, yeah, because Mia doesn't really have anything personally that Briar did to her.
No. So she has to, again, she saw her opening, she took it. But at this point, they're just playing ping pong now with Briar. But now she brings Athena into the mix. And then Athena does go into a thing that has happened off camera where Briar's doing like weird shit where she's like being like, how would you describe it? Like possessive of Juicy Love Dion and trying to like play mind games there.
Yeah, it's probably a level of mind game. But like what Briar was apparently saying, that Juicy doesn't stick up for Athena, I mean, is true. So she's being annoying, but maybe it hits so close to home because, yeah, it's true.
It is. But Juicy says that she'd said something. Juicy says that she said in private, like, back off or hold off or ease off or something like that, right? Which doesn't deny it. It's just more like, hey, maybe don't go in so ham, So, but then it's funny because then this is where I will side with Athena. So then the fight happens and they go, okay, we're going to get out of drag. And then we're now later, they're getting out of drag and the fight comes back up again. I don't know that Mia's involved so much. But Athena and Juicy are talking, and Athena is saying to Juicy, I just thought you would have my back. And Juicy's like, you're my best friend, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And then Briar says, I'm going to defend Juicy. And Athena has a point. She's like, defend Juicy from what? Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, I enjoyed seeing Athena activated. I honestly think there's a level of like, I think Briar off camera is acting like Serena Chacha. Like she's just pissing them off a lot.
Yeah.
And then on camera, she's not acting like that as much, which means that they can't really clock her for things in the moment. So it's all just sort of bottled up and they're just like really annoyed at her. She's just annoying.
Yeah. She is. She's very, very annoying. I forgot to mention when she was giving her TED talk at the window, at the mirror, she does say that there were other people who should have been in the bottom. Now, by the way, I think Briar 100% should have been in the bottom last week, but she is not wrong that there were other people who should have also been in the bottom.
Yeah.
Look, I'm of the opinion that Briar, the big mistake Briar made and why she went home so early is if you're going to be the villain on camera, give the producers a storyline. They'll keep you around longer for any episodes that you're a little weak on. So if she would have leaned in, done this, I think probably the conspiracy is she's probably punished for doing this shit off camera and not on camera.
Yeah.
Not giving remember what RuPaul told Pearl?
Exactly.
Whatever you say, when those cameras aren't on, whatever you say doesn't matter. And it's true.
Well, yeah, I know. I always feel like people are mad at Ru for saying that, but I'm like, no, she was right.
I say it to Nathan every time we start the show. I'm like, why are we talking about this? Talking about it in the air. By the way, any other thoughts on this whole after the elimination segment? Probably the best segment of the show, but
yeah, probably the best, but no more thoughts.
They once again they tried to do an Untuck season 5 thing here. They put in that weird fake evil laughing. Or that All Stars? No, it's All Stars 1 episode 1, the Untucked, where they put in all the queens laughing and stuff like that. But it's clearly from something else. They did that here too,
right?
Because what Athena said is not even that funny. She goes, "What's good for the goose is good for the gander." And they're like, I'm like, it's not that funny, right? Everyone's talking about the fainting like you and this and that. How are we ignoring during the fight the shot of that purse with the eyes going back and forth?
Very funny.
Very funny. Totally camp. I do think that there's missing information in this, and that's what makes it hard. And this is why you don't have those conversations off camera. Honestly, as much as I blame the girls, I also blame the producers for letting it happen.
Yep. And I just think Briar's trying to self-produce quite a lot. And I even think her saying, like, I didn't want to talk about that just yet. She was saving her big, sad relationship story for when she felt she needed to bring it up. And I think she miscalculated because we're never going to hear it. But I just think, when you try and do too much, it does come back to haunt you.
But this is why she, she robbed us and she robbed the show of content when she did that.
Sure, but I do think she'll be like first in line out of this bunch of queens to be in an All-Stars so far.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I feel like she's got more potential for story in another season.
Interesting. All right, let's move on. Here we go. The next day, the girls walk into the workroom ready for the challenge ahead. The girls chat around the table just as RuPaul enters the workroom to announce this week's Maxi Challenge. The girls team up. Well, for this week's Maxi Challenge, the girls team up in pairs with their besties. Working in teams, the girls must design original show-stopping looks mashed up with two randomly chosen looks from past red carpets. The teams were paired up as follows. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to do this whole fucking... Do you need to talk about this game with the numbers and the this and the that? And we'll talk about it a little bit when we cover it, but yeah.
Just that I liked it. I thought it was good that it was random.
You don't
think it was random?
The assignments were random. Yeah, I'll get back to that in a second. They were as follows. So Juicy teamed up with Briar, which Athena goes like, oh, look at this. I tried to team up with Juicy and Briar stole her. And their looks were Lil Nas X and Rihanna. Discord, Adams, and Jane Don't paired up with each other. I guess they're besties. And they got Cher and Sarah Paulson. Mm-hmm. Mikey Meeks and Nene Coco, they teamed up and they were J-Lo and Nicki Minaj. I wonder how the gay bars were, because Nicki Minaj now is persona non grata. So
didn't age well.
Yeah. Sierra, Mist, and Kenya Pleaser, they got Lady Gaga with the meat dress and Brittany and Justin with the denim. Mia Starr and Vita Von T-Star, they were Katy Perry and Little Kim. And finally, Darlene Mitchell and Athena Love Dion. They were Kim Kardashian, an awful Kim Kardashian outfit. I don't know how that was iconic. And Zendaya from the Met Ball. No, from the Dune 2 premiere or something. Dune premiere. Mm-hmm. And that's how they were teamed up. Moving on. Back in the workroom, the queens get to... What's wrong, Nathan?
Well, I just want to talk quickly about how it is crazy that Juicy went with Briar instead of Athena, don't you think? Like when Ru says, team up with your bestie, why is Juicy going to Briar? I don't know, that's stodge. I feel like Juicy's like fanning the flames.
Back in the workroom, the queens get to work. Have you been on the show before?
Yeah.
You know we come back to this, right?
But that just happened, didn't it?
What do you mean?
Oh, you're just doing the intro for the whole segment.
Yeah, I'm doing the whole thing. We'll go back to it.
Okay, I thought you were moving on. Yeah, anyway.
No, no. I have a ton of thoughts.
It's early for me, Joe.
Back in the workroom, the queens get to work on their outfits. In fact, I'm doing this to help you because if we get all these chunks done.
Yeah, okay.
Jane worries that her challenge is harder because Discord also knows how to sew. Jane gives Mia some tips on how to sew trim. Athena makes a critical sewing mistake. Meanwhile, Briar confides in Juicy that she is in a bad place in the previous episode because all that happened. It's elimination day and the girls get ready for the runway. Athena spent the entire night finishing her look. Briar and Mia kiss and make up in the mirror. Meanwhile, Kenya reveals that she was born in a toilet. Okay. I wrote a name for her.
What is it?
Latrine Royale.
That's
What? It's terrible. Latrine Royale is my new name for Kenya Pleaser. Okay, let's go back to the next day. They walk into the workroom. Anything happen before Rue calls them over for this little staircase thing?
Nah.
All right. So Rue comes in. She introduces the challenge, but before she does, she doesn't tell them what the challenge is. She just says, pair up with your bestie. And then Juicy and Briar immediately, hang on to each other.
Yeah, don't you think that's weird?
Yeah, let's talk about this here. So, after everything that goes on, you would think that Juicy would be extra, at least give a pause, well, let me see what Athena's up to, or blah, 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 blah. And even tells Athena, you're my best friend in the whole world, blah, 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 blah. You would think there'd be, no, they're just immediately yes, let's do this, bitch, right?
It's like Juicy is trying to have a secret alliance, but they already know the relationship's there, so I don't know why she's distancing herself so much.
It really feels like an age gap relationship between, I don't think they have one at all, but I'm just saying this is what it feels like. There's an age gap relationship between Juicy and Athena, but now Juicy's met some other twink that she likes, and she's cheating on Athena with this young twink, and she's like Briar's the girl that she told you had nothing to worry about, kind of thing. That's what it feels like. It's a very, very weird. It was just, but Juicy's a dumb, stupid bitch who doesn't know what she's doing. So I could see her just being dumb. By the way, I also noticed though they're Athena's I went over there, and I never saw Athena go over there. In fact, they don't show Athena at all. And the only one brief glimpse we get is in the background, you see her already talking to Darlene. So we don't have, Athena's saying this in a voiceover in confessional, but I didn't see any video evidence of Athena going over there and being what?
Yeah, no, I think that was an exaggeration.
Well, later on, and we'll cover it in about 2 seconds. I'll just say it now. They go to a break. They come back in the workroom. Athena's doing sort of the catch up on what's going on. We're in the workroom. We're doing this challenge, blah, 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 blah. And then she talks about Juicy Love Dion. And she says, oh, well, we decided we didn't always want to do everything together because we're mother-daughter. So that's why I'm with Darlene. And I like Darlene. Blah, 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 blah. Wait a minute. You just contradict. You in a voiceover in the previous segment, you said, I went to go look at Juicy, and she was already with Briar. I actually think the latter is more correct than the former.
Okay.
What I will say, where I feel the manipulation is they're trying to torture Athena, because then they clearly line the girls up in the order that they want once they're paired off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they put Athena at the very end because they know what's coming with the numbers. And I'm they're trying to fuck with her.
Well, but no, they picked the numbers randomly.
No, they picked the numbers randomly. It's not. I'm not saying that they're going to decide what look she has. They're fucking with her because they know she's going to be left with whatever.
Oh,
no matter what happens, she's just left with whatever number is left.
Yeah.
And they're just fucking with her.
I think there is an element of fucking with Athena. But also, what makes us think Athena isn't just, a run-of-the-mill filler queen? It's just what Athena has told us. Athena has told us she's Sasha Colby-esque. But I have not seen anything to justify that yet. So
I don't think she's filler queen. I think there's a genre of queen that isn't filler queen, that they're very competent queens, but they're very type A and they get really worked up. So I'm talking about your Michelle. Was that her name? Alexis Michelle, your Jans, your Rosés, your Denali's, your who else is in that list? There's a few of them.
Lucy LeDuc's.
They're all friends with each other, too, which I think is so funny. But they're all these like super type A, like super, you know, they can clench a fucking penny with their assholes, right? And like they're just really, really, really uptight and very focused and very like, and so this really bugs the shit out of them. By the way, as someone who I'm making fun of them and blah, 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 and this is what Athena's like, I learned when I was in that Spotify program, which was a competition that wasn't televised, essentially. I'm like that. So that's why I think I sympathize with Athena, is I've had those moments where I'm like, they're fucking with me. They're fucking with me, right? What are they doing here? What are they doing? In the first part of this, they had these two girls and they were just in love with Christian, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they would let Christian just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, right? And then when anybody else tried to talk, particularly me, they'd be like, we don't have any more time, sorry.
So annoying.
And it would literally like drive me up the fucking wall. It would drive me up the motherfucking wall. So I get it. I totally get it. All right, now let's go to the workroom. They've chosen their things. Now they're working with their materials. Any thoughts here?
No, this section of the show wasn't that interesting. I thought there was, some tough combos for the looks, but like, you know, whatever. There is one section where Briar's sort of whinging or like commiserating, and I was just like, boo-hoo, get over it. I don't even know what she was talking about, but
She was talking about how it was really difficult for her because she'd already had a hard day. Okay. And then, after the elimination, remember, this is all one day. Then Mia is saying she thought Mandy won the lip sync. Well, first of all, Mandy did win the lip sync. One. Yeah. Two, but she does, in fairness to Briar, she wouldn't know that. She's busy on her own lip sync, right? And who's going to say that too, right? But two, I would have been able to brush it off because it wasn't like it was some rando saying it. It was like Mandy's best friend in the competition. You know?
Yeah, and you just be like, well, RuPaul said I won.
Yeah, it would be like if like
game over.
There was a lip sync between me and Christian, and Robert said he thought Christian won. I'd be like, well, they always side with each other. Fuck them. Of course. Right? Yeah. This does happen. Whenever I have a problem with Christian, Robert, those two jump to each other's defenses. They will not.
Oh, they tag team?
Oh. Well, Robert's better at it than Christian. Christian will turn on a bitch and like nobody's business. But Robert will always defend Christian. I could say Christian murdered his roommates, and Robert would be like, well, they are really annoying, you know? So Christian doesn't give Robert the same grace, though.
Ooh.
I hope Robert doesn't listen to this.
He will. Hey, Robert.
Christian does for the most part, I will say. It's just not as much as Robert does. Didn't Kenya say she could sew?
She's told me. She hasn't showed me.
Well, I will say, and I said this on The Big Takeaway, I didn't think her outfit was bad. I just, it didn't meet the challenge. It wasn't a meat dress, and it wasn't anything like that, but it was the outfit itself by itself. It wasn't, any other challenge would have been fine. Jane Doe, I want to talk about her. This comes up several times in the episode, but she's coming off, I know she's doing really, really well, but she's coming off as really obnoxious and unlikable. Well, she didn't start off that way, but last week it was the whole, oh my God, there's going to be a target on my back because I'm just so good and so talented and such a winner, and everyone's going to be mad at me. Like, that's a weird thing to say in so many levels. Okay. Mm-hmm. And we discussed that in depth. And then today she was like bothered because she chose to pair up with this Discord, and she's like, ugh, now we both can sew, and I wish I was with someone who couldn't sew. And you're like, what's wrong with her?
Yeah, it's very annoying. I think some queens do this. I feel like maybe Ginger Minj does this, where it's like she needs to have a talking point every single episode, so she sort of just makes an issue where there isn't one, just so she's got something to talk about in the chair. And then like when you do that, like it's great for the editors, they love it, but it doesn't read for us, the audience.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Next, going back to your Briar thing. So later on, Mia Starr is talking to some of the other queens. She goes, "Did you see Briar was crying?" And they're like, "She was?" Right? Like, she was? Like, yeah, I don't know what she was crying about. Mia saying this to the other girls, right? And then she's talking and she goes, "I don't really pay attention to her." I'm like, you just clocked that she was crying. How are you saying you don't pay attention to her? What are you talking about? You're like obsessed with her. And what do you think about Juicy, in this case, using Jane Don't to like sew her train, essentially?
It was annoying. You can get a pass once on a design challenge getting some help, but I just think but I'm more annoyed at Jane for helping her. I just think stop helping her. Like, let her flounder on her own. That makes it more interesting for everybody.
Yeah. I thought it was really, and I think Juicy is not a good strategy. I think Jane's right. Maybe they're setting us up for this, where there is going to be a part where we're like, Jane don't, and she isn't, right? And it's going to really hurt Juicy. All right, and then let's go to Elimination Day. This is where Briar makes up with Mia, and then Kenya tells this cracked out fucking story that I have a lot of questions about being born in a toilet. Yeah. I'm calling a minge on this one, if I'm being honest with you, with at least parts of it.
I used to love the TV show I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant.
Okay.
Did you ever watch that?
No.
Oh, it was the best fucking thing. And all these stories, and like they did the reenactments of people who didn't know they was pregnant. Like I feel like that could happen. I feel like there's I feel like I've watched 7 episodes where someone in college had a baby in a toilet. Or said they did.
Here's the deal. I have less of a problem with that part.
Yeah, it's the other part.
There's a lot of parts I have problems with. One, she says, and so my grandparents, they decided that they wanted to let my mom finish college so they wouldn't raise me. And she goes, so that led to a lot of issues with me when she wasn't in my life and blah, blah, blah. And then she was like an adult or something. I don't know. And I'm like, how long was she in fucking college for?
Great point.
How long was this bitch in college?
She was doing a PhD or something.
Yeah, I don't know. PhD 2 consecutively. Right? And so that was really, really weird. And then the other thing was later she tells this story. Tell me if I got this story right.
Okay.
She was in choir practice and they were singing "You Got a Friend in Me."
Mm-hmm.
And something about this dumb song from Toy Story made her be like, I got to come out to my mom.
Of all the songs to have that epiphany to.
Yeah. It's a weird one, right? Like trust me, there are songs that I could see, that's going to move me to come out to my parent, right?
Yeah,
I don't know that
this
"You Got
one.
a Friend in Me" is one of them, right? So she excuses herself, goes outside, calls her mom, and her mom says, "You ain't the first one, you ain't going to be the last one," right? And then one by one, this is the minge part to me.
It's so mingy.
One by one, the choir members start walking out singing "You Got a Friend in Me" as a choir, and then they all go up and hug her individually. And I'm like, no. If there's a reality, this is how I see it. If there's a reality, 3 people came out going, where's Kenya? Where is she? Oh, she's on the phone, and they see her crying, right? And then they figure out, because they're standing there, what's happening. And then when she hangs up the phone, they start singing like 1 line or 2 lines, and they hug, right? That's the close. The whole performance she's putting on in this one, that they come out singing in the choir. It's like the in the end of Man in the Mirror all of a sudden.
Uh-huh.
So what do you have to say about this?
I think she just walked back into the choir room and they were singing "You've Got a Friend in Me" because that's the song they were doing at choir that day.
Oh, so you think she walked back in? Oh, okay, that's a good one too.
And she was like, "Oh, this is for me."
Yeah.
No, it wasn't, babe. Yeah. Anytime anyone says, and then everyone hugged me, or it's like everyone clapped, like, it's like, I don't think that's true.
Yeah. It's so funny. I just saw a clip of Pheromone on the Kelly Mantle show. And I'm always hearing more and more stories. I didn't hear this Dolly Parton story where Dolly Parton recognized her and was like, Ginger, come over here and give me a hug. And it's like... And I forgot about the Jennifer Aniston getting her coffee every day story.
Nuts. And Bette Midler, the Bette Midler one.
Were robbed.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Okay. There is a shady moment from the editors during the beginning, actually, of the Briar Mia apology. Dual apology, where Briar says, "You know what? I'm sitting here. This isn't confessional." And she goes, "I'm going to be," and she goes, "I'm doing makeup next to me." And she goes, "And I'm going to be doing makeup next to this bitch for a long time." And I go, "Are you though? Are you though?" So
she might have just meant because they're doing makeup for hours.
I don't think so. I think she thought she'd be there for a long ass time.
Poor thing. Right. I think Briar just needs to get some resilience. And I don't know, we've seen girls go through it on this show before, right? And she's just won one lip sync and had one confrontation. It's not enough to be having this much of a meltdown.
Yeah.
And if you can't handle Mia Starr saying that you didn't win the lip sync, I hope you haven't been on social media for the past week because everyone said you did not win that lip sync.
She admitted it on social media.
Well,
she came out and said she didn't win. Yeah. She knew what was coming. Nathan, the runway. You have any big, I'm just going to go buzz through. How would we do it this way? Unless you have really big thoughts on some of them.
No, I just have who wore it better.
Yeah. I was going to go through down the line. Juicy and Briar, Lil Nas X and Rihanna. Who wore it better?
I said Juicy. And I think with all of my decisions, it's whether or not they integrated the two looks. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like Briar's was just two separate materials. And a few people were like that. And I was just like, well, that's not a mashup.
I agree with Juicy. And I will say, I don't agree with the critique that Michelle said. I know I said this in the big takeaway, where she was like, oh, the fur looked cheap. And I'm like, bitch, you guys bought it. She can only do what she can do with the material, especially if she doesn't sew. All right. Discord and Jane. Discord Adams versus Jane Don't. This is Cher and Sarah Paulson.
Yeah, I feel like Jane wore it better, but I didn't like either of them. I sort of liked Discord's when she first walked out, and then the more I saw it, the more I didn't like it, and I started seeing those problems that they identified as well. But I also didn't like Jane's. It kind of looked like a mishmash.
I didn't,
and not in a good way.
I'm with you. I thought Jane won it. I thought Discord's was awful. I thought Discord's was awful. I did not like it at all. It looked really weird and cheap, and I didn't like it. But with Jane's, I think it won. I don't think as strongly as you. I don't feel as strongly as you do about it. But I don't think it would have been in the top for me. I'll say that.
No, me neither.
Okay. Mikey Meeks and Nene Coco with J-Lo and Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, I disagreed with the judges. I thought Mikey wore it better. Mm-hmm. I feel like Nene's was just, a leopard bodysuit with the other fabric just draped on her, which didn't look cohesive to me. It looked well made, but it didn't look good. Whereas I thought Mikey actually pulled off those two fabrics coming together and not looking like a mess, like it should have.
Yeah, I didn't think Nene's looked good at all. It looked weirdly like she put on a leopard outfit and then put some weird trim, like an afterthought, so to speak.
Yeah, kind of like what the afterthought draping was just like what Georges would wear on a runway, it was just like nothing.
Yeah. Sierra Mist and Kenya Pleaser.
Well, I didn't like Sierra's look, but I do think she wore it better just because she had as if she was the meat kind of a thing with the denim over it. She did the two looks.
Yeah.
Whereas Kenya's look was probably more appealing to look at, but it didn't nod to the meat dress and barely nodded to the denim as well. So that's why I feel like Sierra won that one.
Yes, if you're sticking to the theme, then Sierra won that one. Not finally. We have next we have Mia Starr and Vita Von T Starts, Katy Perry and Lil' Kim.
This was the best pairing. I feel like they got the best mashup. And I thought Mia's look was so fun. I really liked it, but Vita's was just amazing. So yeah, Vita wore it better.
Yeah, I agree with you. And finally, we have Darlene Mitchell and Athena Love Dion with their Kim Kardashian and Zendaya look. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me here. I actually think Athena did win this one, but I know Lori didn't agree, and we all know she's a fashion maven. What do you think there, Nathan?
I'm also a fashion maven, and I feel like Darlene won this one. Athena's just looked like weird couch draping over a chrome dress, which didn't look visually appealing at all. Whereas I feel like Darlene's sort of came across a little bit fashion forward. I mean, yeah, I don't care about the shoes, but yeah, I don't know. I felt like Darlene had this one.
Well, I am not a fashion maven at all, so I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Any other big thoughts on the looks that you wanted to share?
Nope.
All right, very good. Back on the main stage, Briar Blush faints just as Law Roach finishes her critiques. Later, Vita Von T Starr is named the winner of the challenge, while Briar Blush and Kenya Pleaser are placed in the bottom two, forcing them to face off in a lip sync battle for their lives. The song Lights, Camera, Action by Nathan's girl, Kylie Minogue. In the end, Kenya Pleaser lived to see another day, while Briar Blush was asked to sashay away. Nathan, did the right queen win the challenge? Were the right two queens in the bottom, and did the right queen get the chop? Let's start with that first question. Did the right queen win the challenge?
Yeah, I think so. I think Vita did the best.
I agree. Vita did do the best. Next, were the right two queens in the bottom?
That's trickier. I feel like Briar definitely should have been in the bottom. Kenya, yeah. I mean, it wasn't, as I said, it wasn't a bad look. It was bad for this challenge. And you could have maybe put Discord in there. I mean, I could have also put Athena in there, whatever. Yeah. But it makes sense why they put Kenya in there. I'm not angry that she was in the bottom.
And then did the right queen get the chop?
Yeah. I thought Kenya did a much better job at the lip sync, just with her like dancing and her energy. I also don't think Kenya really knew the words that much, or she just didn't bother to look like she was mouthing the words. But it was much better than Briar, who sort of just was there undressing, as per.
Well, let's talk about something. Let's talk about this Briar fainting. You have thoughts on that? It's a big moment here.
It feels kind of fake to me.
You're in the fake route. You think it's fake?
Well, yeah, just from everything I know about Briar, she doesn't seem like that much of a genuine person. So I wouldn't put it past her that she would do a fake faint. I don't know if it was a fake faint. I don't know what she thought she'd get out of it. Like Rue was like, "All right, I don't give a fuck. You're out," because they were being critiqued first. So it's not like they were standing there for hours under the hot lights. You know, if you can't handle that after like 5 minutes, like why isn't Athena on the end fainting? Yeah. She's the last one. It just doesn't make sense.
I don't know if it's real or not. I've seen discourse online. I don't know if about fainting. I'm not a doctor. About yes, it looks real. Well, no, it doesn't. Blah blah blah. I don't know. I have no opinion on this. Right. What I will say as well is I like when Michelle and Rue are always like, "Can we get a medic?" It's like you don't have a million crew and cast like. They need to wait. They're like waiting on RuPaul's command to get a medic. I'm sure.
And Michelle was like, quickly. And it's like, get up then if you're that worried about it.
And then they sent her off there. She's seen a doctor right now and all this nonsense. But and then I saw someone say like, I saw someone say on TikTok, this is the first time someone's fainted on RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm like, no, it's not. Someone fainted on Down Under.
Yeah.
And
I think did that save them?
It did save them for the week. Actually, it did.
That's funny.
And I think that's sort of what probably Briar was hoping for.
Yeah. So you do think it's fake?
I don't know if it's fake. I don't know where I fall. No, I could my term could still use it where like, okay, I fainted for real, but maybe that will save me.
Yeah, maybe. I just don't think what Law said was that savage that it could knock her off her feet, like how it was presented to us.
Yeah.
But I do love that Law. I think...
Oh, Lord was so mad at him.
I don't get that because I thought it was fucking funny how he was just going in. Like, I like it. I like it. And I also loved that he clocked Michelle. Yeah. And when Michelle's like, didn't miss it, I think she did miss it.
Yeah.
I just don't think she likes ever admitting that she's wrong.
Oh, no. And the lip sync, you've given your thoughts on the lip sync. I think I said this on TikTok. I'll say it here. I think in a Just World, it would have been Discord versus Briar. But I feel that they knew we need to send this Briar home. She's a problem. And she's not good for the show. And we need someone who can send her home. We're going to go with Kenya. Kenya can send her home. I'm not sure Discord could have sent her home. So
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Kenya did a good job. And I thought, it's a great song. Kylie.
There you go. Any other thoughts there?
Well, I did think it was funny how Briar says, I can't squabble this.
Oh,
and everyone's
that's
sort of
right.
like, haha, let's
What
go. But then
Nathan-
like Kenya brings it up a lot. And I was like, Kenya, you're the epitome. Like, maybe don't lean in too hard.
You know what?
Kenya.
I forgot about Epitome. You're right, with the squabble. And Lori with the magnanimous.
Oh, yeah.
So that's right. For people who don't know what we're talking about is when Briar came back after her fainting spell, RuPaul was like, are you okay? And she goes, yeah, I'm not going to squabble this opportunity, meaning squander. But she said squabble. And they just thought it was so funny. But then I forgot about Latrine Royale saying she was the epitome of whatever she was talking about, meaning epitome. All right. Any other thoughts, Nathan?
Nah, I just really enjoyed the episode. I think we're back on track and makes me hopeful for the rest of the season.
All right. Very good. Well, that's going to do for this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. Be sure to join us next week when Nathan's not going to be here. We're going to have one Roberto Mata sitting in for him. But next week and every week, Nathan will be back as we continue to discuss, dissect, and deconstruct each brand new episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 18. So for Nathan Patrick Brown and myself,
sashay away until next week.
Thank you for listening to RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. Have something to say? Email us at dragracerecap@afterthought.media. You can also leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/afterthoughtmedia. For more Drag Race and LGBTQ content, support us on Patreon at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia or on the app. Very special thanks to these expensive tier Patreon supporters: Holly Ann Marie, Ram Crackers, Mike Yeager, Efren Barboza, Philskit Pony, Scott Dreyer, Travis Newland, Tom Bombs, Mary Shine, Lucy Carrasco, Astute Girl, Dave, Runner Brandon, Humble Pie, E. Smith, JTP, Nikki Pettit, Doofus Maximus, Kathy Zender, Nikki Baker, Peter Teef, Derek Byers, Coco San Pedro, Poppy Woods, Lauren Eckert, Brad Coley, Katie Whitmire, AJ Norris, and Sarah Yu. Drag Race Recap is an Afterthought Media podcast.
This podcast is supported by MIDI Health. Are you in midlife, feeling dismissed, unheard, or just plain tired of the old healthcare system? You're not alone. In fact, even today, 75% of women seeking care for menopause and perimenopause issues are left entirely untreated. But it's time for a change. It's time for MIDI. MIDI's not just a healthcare provider. It's a women's telehealth clinic founded and supported by world-class leaders in women's health. Their clinicians provide one-on-one, face-to-face consultations where they truly listen to your unique needs. They offer a full range of holistic, data-driven solutions that isn't one-size-fits-all care. This is care uniquely tailored for you. At MIDI, you will find that their mission is clear: to help all women thrive in midlife, giving them access to the healthcare they deserve. Because they believe midlife isn't the middle at all. It is the beginning of your second act. Ready to feel your best and write your second act script? Visit joinmidi.com today to book your personalized, insurance-covered virtual visit. That's joinmidi.com. MIDI, the care women deserve.